time of year, winter, hardly seems any point coming up to an allotment, doesn't it? Not a scrap of life anywhere, barring some of these weeds, of course. But it all works out in the end, you know. More of this stuff you put in the ground now, better crop you're going to get in the summer. You don't see many up here in the winter months. I suppose some people get put off by the cold weather. Me though. I like coming up here when it's quiet. Gives me a chance to think out loud. Well, my doctor says he wants to do some tests. Simple blood tests, he says. Well, something's not right in the waterworks department, I know that much. But I just want to know what's wrong, one way or another. But you can't rush these things, can you? You've got to wait. It's like the seasons here. They'll come along when it's their time. I suppose being a gardener, if naught else, I've learned a bit of patience.
I'd love to get lost, find the middle of nowhere, the place I could finally breathe in. This journey continues and the center eludes me. Nowhere, still somewhere if you think about it. Oh.
Look at these onion sets. A week ago these were little scraps of sleeping parcels. Now look at them. Never ceases to amaze me every year what seems like a little scrap of out and all this life fighting to get out. I got these half price. Well, they'd already started sprouting, hadn't they? Well, they seem to be getting on with it. So must I. So, I got them test results back. Do you know what a PSA is? I didn't. What I do now. It's called prostate specific antigen. And if you've got more than 10 of them, it's likely you've got prostate cancer. Well, they had to take a sample, didn't they? A biopsy, it's called. Well, I thought, how are they going to get at that? Your prostate's deep inside you. Well, I found out. You don't want to know. And then there's this Gleason score, whoever he was. The more of them you've got, the more aggressive your cancer is. Well, I scored high on both. 67 and a 55. Well, apparently that sets off alarm bells. Well, when the doctor told me about it, it was like the judges used to do when they put a black cap on when they're about to pronounce the fate of the condemned man. Nurse had a face on her like a smack bum and all. Cup of tea at the ready. Ultimate British answer to everything. And the way they speak to you. Oh, I'm afraid, Mr. Smith, your results are positive. Well, I just looked straight at him and told him I was relieved to know what it was. Well, that shut him up. So now we can get on with fighting the damn thing, I told him. So that's what we're doing. We're going to throw everything we can at this devil inside me. Hormone treatment and a clinical trial. Yes, stampede I've signed up for. Well, what that's got to do with cattle and horses, I don't know, but we'll find out one way or another. Yes, we're going to tell it who's boss, whose body this is. This takeover bid isn't going to work. Well, it's stuck in there now, and it can't get out no matter what I do. It's going to die one way or another. Well, either this treatment's going to kill it, or it'll kill me. Then I'm going to take it with me. Best it can do is a score draw, and I'm going to tell it that every day. So it seems that Mr. Paul Andrew Smith is now at war, not only with the weeds out here, but this new weed inside. What is it them young'uns say today? Bring it on.
Sunlight kissed me softly on the morning I awoke. You were there beside me on the sun.
Busiest time of year this, early summer. Everything's getting on with it. Remember these onions? I've got to deal with these now that they're ready. And these weeds are catching up fast as well. I just hope I can keep on top of them. I can't get up here as often as I'd like though. Hormone therapy treatment, you see. I have to have this hormone pellet fired into me fat belly every month. Takes away most of your testosterone. Well, that's what the cancer feeds on, you see. Starve it. That's the strategy. It's like putting your manure out here. And then, of course, this stampede trial medicine, that takes away the rest of it, doesn't it? Result is, I'm sleeping half the day. No energy. Still, I'm not going to moan. That's what the medical people need to know about. I can't leave my grandchildren much money, but I can certainly leave them a legacy of learning. Did you know some people don't like the word cancer? They try to pretend it's not there, or not mention it at all, or say something different. You know, they when they speak to you, they do a Les Dawson on you. You know what I mean? Oh, hello, how's your thing down there? Not me, though. I like to know what I'm up against. Know thine enemy, I think the phrase is. You can't kill it if you don't know it. So give it a name, a personality. Demon, wicked witch, Herbert. I curse at my Herbert every morning when I give it them stampede pill medicines. Look at them, I say to him. That's what you're getting today. And there's more where that came from. Vitamins, good food, a bit of exercise up the allotment. You don't like that, do you? It's funny, isn't it, how your Herbert affects other people? There's people I've known for years are really uncomfortable now looking me in the eye. I suppose they're embarrassed a bit about saying or doing the wrong thing, maybe. But it's still me. I've just got this label. Yes, the effect of your Herbert, it ripples out and affects all those around you, especially the people closest to you. So, if I stay strong and positive, that helps them, doesn't it? Of course, on the other hand, my Herbert also brings out the best in some people. I've never known such spontaneous kindness from complete strangers. Now, the forefront of those are the Macmillan people. Now, I have to confess, I did think that they were your stereotypical coffee morning do-gooding type, but nothing could be further from the truth. They've been there from the very beginning. Advice and support about everything you can think of, and some things you can't. Nutrition, exercise, finances, and they also provide support for your family and friends, you know, the sort of emotional things that are a bit difficult. And another thing, a lot of the volunteers, they've also survived their own Herberts as well. So I suppose in a sense they're a bit more qualified than the medical people. Have you got a tattoo? I've got 3 now. 1 on each hip, and 1 in the ginger forest. Triangulation, you see. Radiotherapy treatment. Hope for the last blow for Herbert. A beam of energy 4,000 times more powerful than a normal X-ray. Fantastic. It's £3 million giant polo mint has to be calibrated just for you. It's like Ming the Merciless's death ray, flash gold. Doesn't hurt a bit really. But it's quite relaxing once you get in there. My trouble is, I keep nodding off. And then when you wake up with a start, like that, sets off all the alarm bells. I don't half get a bollocking from some very young but very talented radiographers. That's another set of people I've come across as well. Volunteer drivers. The hospital treat people from over 100-mile radius. So they've got this team who fetch and carry you all over the place. No pay, mind, just expenses. Oh, this treatment is draining. Hospital every day for 2 months. I'm knackered most of the time. But then again, I'm going to be, aren't I? And it's as my old nan would have said, if it's doing that to thee, what's it doing to that there Herbert inside thee? I'm led to believe that some people at this point, very sadly, give up and retreat to their armchair. But not me. This is a fight. And it's going to be 1-0 to me or a score draw. I intend carrying on living. And as far as I'm concerned, you can't live from your armchair. You gotta love this time of year, haven't you? Harvest time. We've had no end of stuff off this plot, this summer. Now we're on to us apples and pears and these late raspberries and all the lovely warming rustic fruits. We get something every week off this plot, brassicas, pods, roots. Even the weeds have slowed down a bit now. Gives me a bit of a break from fighting them. Talking of fights, I've had a bit of a break from mine. Got to wait, mind you, see what they say. But it'll either have worked or it won't. But I'm not letting my guard down, oh no. Stay in this fighting mode. What does it folk call it? Positive mental attitude. Well, I'm not bothered what it's called. All I know is this wicked witch in here isn't going to do for me. We have a proper fight. Score draw. I got a bit of my energy back, so I thought I'd do my bit for Macmillan, Well, they did their bit for me right from the beginning of this palaver, so I thought it was my turn. Oh, it's huge up there, full of mature forests, trees of every kind you can think of. Now there's a place to go see your autumn colours. Well, there were all sorts of little walks, little 2-milers just for them as not so mobile, and youngsters and mums and pushchairs, and then the big 10-miler for them that's a bit more ambitious, who want to push it a bit, like me I suppose. Over 1,000 people took part, twice as many supporters, all sorts of folk there. There were cancer fighters and families and sponsors. Thousands of pounds were raised. I did about 500 myself. with a little bit of help from Tinternet.
Found a part of me that I'd hidden so carefully, and I'd stowed it so secretly I didn't notice it was gone, but you found it. Oh, you are the part of me that I had found so meticulously.
Ho ho ho! It's that time of year again, eh? Christmas. Well, everything's nearly ready with the dinner here. I've got an old bird simmering away in alcohol, and I've got a nice free-range cockerel roasting away in here. Well, all I need now is some fresh sprouts off the allotment, so that's where I'm going. I always like to wait till the last minute before I pick them. They always taste a lot better when they've been frosted, you know. It seems to concentrate the flavour a lot more. Well, the news is Herbert has gone. And I can't say that I didn't breathe a big sigh of relief when I got that all clear. Oh, it's like I've put a big weight down. Well, this means we can have a good Christmas now, doesn't it? But it does leave you with some legacies, physical and mental. Physically, I suppose I'm left with a weak waterworks, but that's just a matter of planning, isn't it? And it does aggravate your arthritis as well, being on hormones for a couple of years, but, well, there's plenty of ways of dealing with that. It's like all my old nan would have said. Now then, think on, lad. There's plenty of poor buggers in that graveyard to be glad of a dribbly bladder. But the mental ones, well, they go a bit deeper, really. It sharpens your appreciation of what's really important in life, you know, like your family, your friends, all those people who've been with you through your journey on your cancer, like Macmillan and your oncology team. For me, I feel a sort of an obligation to live life more fully, not just float along through it. Perhaps give a bit back to those people who are still on their cancer journey. All them little things that I used to fret and whittle about, well, they're not really important at all, are they? I pay more attention now to things that are really important, that I've taken for granted, perhaps. Fresh air, cycle of the seasons. Well, when I get back in, and we've all done with us dinner, I think I'm going to settle down and have a flick through my seed catalogues. Have an urge to do something ambitious next year. Giant pumpkins, I think. Halloween with the grandchildren. Now there's forward planning for you. Well, a Merry Christmas to you, and carry on carrying on. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun to ride on.